Hi and welcome to this demonstration. My name is Jason Paul. I'm the Managing Director for Apt Innovations. What I'm going to do today is give you a demonstration on how to drain down your static caravan or your holiday home. Whenever we're carrying out a drain down procedure, we want to identify a place as to where to actually carry that out. What we're going to use is an outside tap here. If you don't have an outside tap, what you can do is you can use a washing machine T-fitting or one of the quick fit self-cutting tap. We sell those on the website as well. But what I have here is a 3/4 inch thread on this outside tap. Sometimes whenever you try to use an outside tap on a newer property, you'll find that it has a non-return valve built into that. And unfortunately, you won't be able to use that. You could replace the tap. They're quite inexpensive, or indeed you could use a fitting somewhere else. But basically what you want to do is have the fitting on the cold water line. So what we would do first of all is we would turn our water off at the stopcock. As you can see here, we have moved the stopcock closer to the edge of the decking just for handiness. The next thing I'd like to do is drain this tap, because we're going to connect the Floe device to it. And by draining it, it means that you're not basically running water into your foot pump or your compressor. Now, I'm just going to use a basin here just to stop yourself getting wet feet. So we'll just let that drain away. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is fit the device itself. Now, what we have here is the Floe device. We have the tap connector at one end, a fitting connector, and we also have a valve at the other end. Okay, so if I were to just take this socket out, we have a 3/4 tap connection, and we also have the green nut here, which is a 1/2 inch reducer. Now, not a lot of people know what this green nut is used for, but in actual fact it will fit pretty much any 1/2 inch plumbing fitting inside your house or static van, so you may wish to use it. Also, this is a very useful thing if you have a motorhome and you want to drain it. So we'll just take it off for this and we'll connect on to the tap. And that's it, so good firm seal. So the next thing we want to do is connect on our Floe device. Just push that up and get a nice snug fit. Now, just lifting this out of the way. So now that that's fitted, the next thing we're going to use this compressor. Now, this is a battery pack type compressor. It has jump leads and so on it, and it's handy just because it's portable. If you don't have one of these, you could use a little 12-volt compressor that plugs into a cigarette lighter of a car, or you could indeed use a foot pump. So there's many ways of actually, this is just a standard car bicycle type valve fitting here, so any one of those will do the same purpose very nicely. I just use this one because it's quite portable. So we have our device, we just connect that on, and what we want to do now is make sure that we have our pressure set to 30 psi. Now, don't exceed 30, because you've turned off your stopcock. You want to replace that water pressure with air pressure, and 30 psi will just do the same thing equal. Whenever you turn on your taps inside, you don't want too much pressure obviously pushing that water out, and also if you were to increase it, it could do damage to property. So keep it at 30 for a static caravan or indeed at home. So the next thing we want to do is make sure that all of our taps are turned off inside. We can build that pressure up. If a tap was open, then obviously the air would escape out through that. So we want to build up that 30 psi. So just by setting this, we'll set it to 30 and we'll switch it on. And that's it set to 30 psi. So the next thing we want to do is move inside. We're going to empty our first tap. Now, what I would suggest to people is to empty their hot tap first of all, maybe in the kitchen or in the bathroom. What that will do is it will prove that the air in this compressor, when water comes into a system, it splits into two. The left branch will travel onto all of the cold taps and the right branch would travel onto the boiler. So as long as you're somewhere in the cold system, it will actually circle around and go behind and through the boiler, which is a bonus because it will winterize your boiler as well. You will need to speak to a plumber or indeed a manufacturer just to make sure that that is everything that you need to do for winter, that you've protected it properly. But basically, if you empty a hot tap first, it will positively prove that air is actually traveling through the boiler and moving on to the hot taps. So let's go and do that now. So let's just try this. What I would also recommend is that you keep a rag handy, because the air or the water will run out of here being compressed as if you hadn't turned off your mains water, but then there'll be a spit, and that obviously is the air then coming out behind it. So there'll be quite a spit. So we'll just turn it on. So that's It's charged up, that's the pressure, and as you can see the spitting starting. So basically you would empty the hot tap first of all until the point where it spits out, then you would turn off the tap, obviously to seal the system again, and then once you've filled that system full of pressurized air, then what you can do is turn on the cold tap, and that's it. That would be that tap. Now you could do it once or twice just for your first time out, so that you know that you're happy with it, and if that is the case, you're happy with this particular tap, then what we'd like to do is move on to the bathroom and the shower, etc, etc. So the compressor is now stopped again, indicating that the system has pressurized to 30 psi yet again. Turn that all the way to hot or to cold, but the opposite direction. Okay, and again, just to show you a demonstration, we've taken off the shower head, so we'll just open that up again. And we'll turn it back off again and let the compressor build back up again. So, and that's it. So each one you have to go to hot, then turn it off, go back to cold. Very important, your shower, because you really don't want to have broken pipes in behind here. What we would just do is press this ball cock down at this point now. And as you can see, the water is being pushed out. So now that you've purged the water system of all water, it would be a good idea at this point for a belt and braces approach. We've already mentioned the fact that you should contact your boiler manufacturer just to see if there's anything in particular that you need to do specifically for your boiler or geyser. Also, what I would ask you to do is, there are drain valves underneath your static. And what I would suggest is that part of, just as you have done every tap and toilet and shower, etc, etc, those drain taps are clearly designed to at the lowest point to let the water out. Now the thing about that is that it would give you peace of mind to know that whatever water does come out of those drain valves is acceptable. You will always get a little bit of water in your lines. You know, it's virtually impossible to get absolutely every little piece. So maybe 5% or 10% of the water that was in your lines will remain there. Which brings me on to another very important point, and this point is this process is absolutely imperative. Once you have winterized your pipes and the water is turned on, you have blown the water out of all of your pipes, you will remember that you had to turn off each tap after you winterized it. So your system will be sitting still with air in it, but with all of the taps turned off. It is absolutely imperative that you go around as a last feature and turn those taps back on again, every single one of them, and basically just turn them on like that, and that's enough. Also, you'll notice we've flushed the toilet, so the ball cock is currently in the downward position, therefore air, if we were to compress it, would escape through there. Leave your shower, leave it on as well. Obviously set it somewhere in the center. If it's a mixer block, set it somewhere in the center. If it's two taps, turn both of those taps on. Now no water will come out because obviously you've winterized them, but if you leave your taps open, that little bit of water that when it does freeze will actually expand, as we know, and will expand up the pipes, therefore pushing air, you know, as little as it may be, out of this particular tap here, for example. Okay, it would push the air out of that, and the ice, as I say, will be allowed to expand along the pipes and not obviously burst outside of them. So that's absolutely imperative, and that's it. We've drained down our static van. That's us good until the next time we want to use it. At least we can use the property right throughout the winter months. Also through the season itself, the summer season, it's handy to be able to get rid of stale and stagnant water. What I would suggest is when you use the Floe device, you read the instructions very carefully before operating it, and also have a look at our support page, where you'll see us fitting washing machine T-valves and self-cutting taps and so on, just to make your life a little bit easier. And that's it, so thank you for watching.
If you would like to receive free updates of any new innovations to make your winterizing process an easier one, then don't forget to click on register on the right hand side of this site, and we will be delighted to forward them on to you. Thank you for visiting our site.